You're listening to Seattle Real Estate Podcast.
So the city of Tacoma considers allowing electric fences in more parts of the city. Here's the reason. When you read this, don't you just think, okay, crime. Increase in crime, commercial areas, they're going to allow electric fences. Let's get into it. Let's just really see what the city of Tacoma is thinking. We're also going to take a look at a famous Los Angeles shopping mall and what they have done, what their kind of version of the electric fence is for their shopping mall called The Grove, which is pretty famous. We're going to talk about that as well. We're just going to see what different approaches are to some of the increasing crime going on. Let's get into it. Before we do, if you're new, welcome. My name is Sean Reynolds. I own a couple of real estate companies, and I read the news from that perspective, good, bad, or indifferent. All right, let's do this. So, handful of you guys sent me this topic. We're applying for electric fence rezoning in the city of Tacoma. And it's not funny. There is nothing funny about this stuff. It's just that when you see these titles, you're like, okay, I see this one coming from, like a mile away. It's like, really? Okay. Yeah. And this is because we can't seem to figure out how to put a little bit of control on the crime we've got going on. But, throw up a fence, throw up razor barbed wire, whatever. After 8 catalytic converters were stolen from vehicles in their parking lot in recent months, the owners of Aqua Rec in Tacoma had enough. We're done. You steal the 9th catalytic converter? Oh, we're going to be retribution. They filed a permit with the city of Tacoma to put an electric fence around their property off Puyallup Avenue. We didn't really entertain it seriously until about a month ago, because we've had multiple break-ins in our employees, said Josh Shamp, co-owner of Aqua Rec, a pool, spa, and fireplace service company that's been at the location for about 2 decades. It's just gotten worse. You see a lot of these stores and you're like, okay, you got a pool, swimming pool, spa, that makes sense. Those things kind of go hand in hand. And then you got fireplace. Fancy fireplaces, gas log fireplace. That one's always been like, okay, I guess it's extra stuff for your house that you may or may not need. I guess so. Okay, I'll just go into that store. I've never bought something from those stores, but yeah, you see them all the time and like, okay, interesting business model, but obviously it works because that's what they've got going on. Aqua Rec isn't the only business in Tacoma seeking to use electric fences to deter crime. Uh-oh. Tacoma City Council member Robert Toms proposed a resolution to council last month. A council member coming up with a reasonable solution? Holy smokes. What's up with that? Tacoma City Council member Robert Toms proposed a resolution to council last month to expand areas in the city, where electric fences would be allowed after hearing from multiple businesses. This is a make sense kind of thing to me. What have we stumbled onto? Throughout our city, businesses have raised concerns about increasing safety issues related to their businesses outside of the industrial areas. Tom said at a council meeting on November 23rd, Tom specifically mentioned certain auto businesses having catalytic converters stolen. I've covered that story a ton, and it's just brutal. But these criminals, for not much time invested, a couple of minutes, can saw through your catalytic converter, basically sawing through the metal piping holding it in place. They get it out of there, unless you've got your name written on the catalytic converter or the serial number of your car on there, the VIN ID. You take that catalytic converter in and you can sell it for a few $100, and that's enough to get these criminals down the road for a day or two with, buying what. Right now, electric fences are prohibited in all zoning districts except for industrial, because we've never had this kind of crime in our society, right? That's just kind of where we're going with this. So we've got zoning districts except for industrial, according to city documents. The proposed code change would expand use of the fences in downtown area, so your downtown core, your commercial, and a lot of that is in downtown, and mixed use districts, but not residential. All right, I get the whole not residential, but after some of these business owners install it at their business, they're going to be like, God, I need to get some of that bad boy stuff at home. Just make their home look like a prison, right? A draft ordinance of the legislation would require electric fences to be behind non-electric fences no less than 5 feet. So you got your main fence, your perimeter fence, and then you've got the electric fence. The ordinance would also set voltage limits. I'm bummed. I want to see a no voltage limit. Hey, why don't you touch that and see what happens? That could be bad. The proposal permits, or maybe just enough to knock the criminal out and, give it a window of opportunity for the police to come and just pick them off the fence. I'm okay with that. The proposal permits a height of 10 feet or 2 feet higher than the perimeter fence. Perimeter fence being 8 feet. So you go 8 feet. Beyond that, no less than 5 feet. You've got a double layer of fencing in the second layer. Oh, it's electric. All right. So 2 feet higher than the perimeter fence, whichever is higher. Electric fences would be identified with warning signs. I say no warning signs. I say no metering of the electricity. Let her rip. No, that wouldn't be safe. Some criminal might get hurt. Good Lord, we can't have that. The proposal requires a change to the Tacoma Municipal Code and a review by the Tacoma Planning Commission. The commission will consider adding the code through its 2022 annual amendment process, which takes place in January through June of 2021. All right. Michael Pate is Director of Government Relations for 𝒆𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒐, a company based out of South Carolina that supplies electric fences for businesses ranging from auto repair shops to cannabis fields. According to its website, the company has more than 5,000 customers across 48 states. Pate said that he's seen an increase in requests, particularly in Washington state, with many businesses citing catalytic converter thefts as part of the reason. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that have had their catalytic converter stolen, or they've got a story of a neighbor or a family member. It's typically people are like, yeah, I went out to my car and I tried to start my car and I got my car going, but it just sounded terrible. Well, because you've eliminated the entire muffler system by chopping out that cat, right? It's just, you've just got pipes, open pipes. Drive that bad boy in the street. See how that sounds. Horrible. Pate added that it's not unusual for businesses to face barriers in the city permitting processes to set up a fence. This is fairly typical in the municipalities we deal with, Pate told the News Tribune on Thursday. We just have to go through the process to amend codes to actually get permits for the sites. One type of fence offered by 𝒆𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒐 is called this is good. This is where it really starts to get good here. And I was kind of excited to read it. It's called the electric guard dog fence. I want one of those. At 10 feet high, any attempt to scale or touch the solar-powered fence triggers an alarm and LED lights. Okay. What about maybe some camera action? Let's just get those criminals on camera. I mean, let's throw something else in there. I wanted a little bit more, but okay. I'm all right with how it works so far. So would-be thieves who attempt a perimeter breach experience the shock of their lives. 7,000 medically safe but memorable volts. 7,000 medically safe. That sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But I mean, it's just gonna wing you a little bit. It's gonna maybe, that doesn't feel good. Maybe I shouldn't go in and try and, take somebody else's catalytic converter. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to break into this business. It seems like they've got security. I'm going to backpedal a little bit. That's 7,000 medically safe but memorable volts. Ouch. Criminals think twice about touching it again, according to the website. This is all stuff off the website. So it's safe. Don't worry. It's safe unless you've got a bad ticker and then, you touch 7,000 volts. I'm sure that's not going to go in the right direction. But can't you just see it? I want something that is medically safe, but still basically freezes the criminal in their tracks, or just, like I said, wings them for a moment, a brief moment in time where the police can come and pick them up and take them, prosecute, and then the prosecutors can do their thing, which is just, release them to the wild, because that's what we're doing here in Washington. Pate said the fences are designed using technology from livestock electric fences. Criminals, livestock, same thing, right? From livestock electric fences that are in place across the country. While unpleasant if touched, it's not deadly. If you or your children are ever in a position where somebody says, hey, why don't you take a whiz on that electric fence and see how that goes? I would highly recommend against that. Not a good call. I just don't do it. I mean, that's a no-go. But this product, it's a safe, reliable product, Pate said. According to a Tacoma Police Department crime report from November, damage or vandalism to property is up 11% compared to last year, with 5,314 offenses in 2020 and almost 6,000 in 2021. Theft, larceny is also up 7%. Just the majority of a lot of crime, that makes no sense. Crime is up, especially homicide. People want to say, other crime is down. Yeah, that's because you locked everybody in their home for months on end. And while they're sitting there, criminals aren't able to do some of that stuff, right? So there's your sign for why crime in some of these categories has gone down. Steve Hutchins, president and CEO of Around the Sound, a non-emergency medical transportation company, has a lot for his cars, with 80 vehicles off South Tacoma Way. Since January, he said he's had 46 catalytic converters stolen from his lot. 46. That's insane. 46. Can you imagine after the first 10? I mean, you're just going out to your rig, starting at, they got another cat. This sucks. You would know. I mean, is he getting a bulk discount on repairing his catalytic converters by some mechanic? Hey, Johnny, got another one on my way. Which truck? Hutchins said he installed new lighting and video cameras, but still looked for ways to protect his property. In September, things came to a head when someone who was stealing a catalytic converter pointed a gun at one of his drivers. Yep, you can have that catalytic converter. I'm okay with it. I'll be over here. You continue on with your song. I got more and more concerned, Hutchins said. He explored hiring a full-time security guard or even getting Doberman pinchers. That's always the thing you see in the movies, right? You've got a metal fence, cyclone fence. It's got razor wire on top. Then you've either got a Doberman or you've got a pit bull inside, and they're on a chain that allows the dog to go up just right to where the criminal can kind of enter, right? That's how it goes in the movies anyway. So now he wants to get an electric fence and is working through the permitting process. I'm hoping they'll determine that it's too hard to cut 2 fences, Hutchins said of the vandals. Well, what about it's too hard to cut? What about just getting the shock of their lives on that second bad boy? I'm all right with that. Ryan Macris decided to start permitting for an electric fence around his business, which is about to open off of East Bay Street in Tacoma. Macris is president and CEO of WTD Equipment, a company that services heavy equipment. Macris said Tacoma will be the company's 4th location, with other sites in Portland, Oregon, Monroe, Washington, and Yuba City, California. Electric fences are not something we have at any of our other locations because he doesn't need it. But Tacoma, not looking good. Macris said he decided to get the fences after talking to some of his business neighbors who said they've had to walk the yard each morning to figure out what was missing or vandalized. This is what businesses are dealing with. Just rampant crime because you've got addicts running around trying to steal anything to get their next fix. That is what's going on. So far, Macris said their building has been tagged with graffiti, and he's seen someone cutting catalytic converters. Yeah, I bet. All right. I'm just hoping the city will amend the policy to allow this. That sounds kind of like a no-brainer, right? Other than the fact, I say open it up to all zoning jurisdictions. You want to put an electric fence around your house? I say go for it. It's going to look awful though, isn't it? And some kid's probably literally going to go and put his hand on it, not knowing he's going to get the shock of his life. But don't worry. It's safe and sane. It's going to be okay. So, I mean, I kind of get it why you don't want little kids and families and pets. Have a pet take a whiz on the electric fence. That's not going to go. Let's read our second article here. Famous LA shopping center, The Grove, adds barbed wire-like fence to deter smash and grabs. Okay, when I heard barbed wire-like, I was thinking, okay, it's still going to cut people. And that's good because we don't want the bad man to come into the mall and steal stuff like they've been doing en masse with hammers that they have stolen from Home Depot in similar fashion. I mean, this stuff is just wild. I mean, it's literally like the Wild West. Oh, here they come. Here they're getting off their horses. They're coming into the store. Smash and grab. A couple $1 million in watches at the auto dealership. And it's just crazy. Okay, so I was excited when I read this. And then I realized looking at the photo, that's not barbed wire. It's just kind of wire. But we're going to read it anyway. And we're going to point out some things in this article that I think you'll be interested in. As a recent wave of mob-led store robberies, this is CNN business after all. So, buyer beware there. As a recent wave of mob-led store robberies has put retailers, mall operators, and communities on edge, pretty much everybody. Hey, you want to go shopping today? No. Amazon. Beep, 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 send. Give me that one day. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I want my package delivered by 1 p.m. in the afternoon. That is what I demand from Amazon. Isn't it crazy that we start to buy stuff based on how fast we can get it? Is that one day delivery? Oh, it's not? Oh, never mind. That one's got 5 stars and this one has 2 stars on the review. I'm going to get the 2-star review one because it's probably kind of close, but it's coming tomorrow and the other one doesn't come until 2022. One popular shopping center is keeping an unusual security measure in place through the holiday season. The Grove, a famous open-air shopping complex in Los Angeles, has added a high-coil fence barrier. High-coil fence barrier. I think that describes it. That resembles barbed wire at the property's entrances and exits. Management handled the tangled tape, is what they're calling it, coil fencing, which is made from a custom aluminum and steel mesh ahead of Thanksgiving weekend. The fencing is installed nightly after the mall closes and removed before it opens. We don't want the optics that indicate our store is getting broken into routinely by packs of thieves. We don't want those optics. So whatever you can give us that we can, have our store security install in the morning and take off at night. So when people are walking by and they're thinking about maybe doing a little shopping the next day while we're closed, they don't see the fake barbed wire on top. We can't have that. It's just one of the security measures the complex put in place after a rash of November smash and grab robberies at high-end stores in San Francisco and other cities. The shopping center has also heightened its security presence with additional personnel, including off-duty police officers. It has been so phenomenal. I spent a deep dive on YouTube last night, just looking at all the cities that have gone the full circle deal on defund the police too. You know what? We need more police. And you know what? We need more police right in this area that's just really being rocked by crime. We need to flood the area. I mean, there are so many different places doing that right now. It's just, it's incredible. We went from defund the police to, oh my gosh, this crime is out of control. And I think by now it's gotten to the point where the media just can't ignore it. No matter what side of the media it is, they can't ignore it entirely. It's like, oh yeah, that's not good. Whew, yeah, another dash and grab. Yeah, they broke some more stuff and ripped off yet more stores. Oh yeah, you can only hold that down for so long. And then the community members and the people owning these businesses and the customers, everybody's like, hey, what are we doing here? Got to do something. And then you've got these mayors, London Breed being the most recent one I was watching, saying, yeah, we need more police. we need more police up in this area here. You're like, okay, but you were one of the ones that were just really on the bandwagon of defund the police. And yeah, full circle. It's wild. I mean, it's just, okay, yeah, we were going down that road for a long time, and then now we realize that's probably not the direction we want to go. And without ever talking about the whole defund the police thing, or maybe they actually did defund their police department by like 120 million, something like that, just throw out a number there like that. That kind of thing happens. Then we just cruise right over that speed bump and go, yep, we need more cops. Gosh darn it. Oh, we need some more police in here. Get some of those police in here. Safety. All of a sudden, it's a concern. We're getting jacked up in here. But the fencing is more novel addition to the options operators can choose from to protect their stores, experts say. The coil wire is a reasonably new technology in retail crime prevention, said Mike Lamb, an expert in retail security and former vice president of asset protection and safety at Walmart, Home Depot, and Kroger. It looks like it's designed to not cause injury, but it can tangle a person in it and slow down someone who's trying to get away quickly. That's what it's meant for. You're tangling people up. When I heard that part, I was like, okay, maybe it's an optical thing where people are like, good Lord, could that cut me? Maybe it could. Maybe we don't smash dash and grab this door. Maybe we move on to the other one with less cops and less, fake razor wire. I don't know. What are we going to do? What store are we going to rob today? But that's what goes through the minds of criminals, right? They're like very cunning and they know exactly what they're getting into. They create a business plan. They have goals. We need to steal this much stuff. They have a secondary market fence that they're going to take said stuff to. They're going to get their money. I mean, these guys work hard. You got to work hard to get all this, mechanics of this together. And then these stores just throw in these, these things that are slowing them down. They're slowing the criminals down, potentially. Let's read on about that. The wire fencing in place didn't fully deter a robbery at the Grove on November 22nd. Okay. Did you deter it at all? So yeah, it didn't deter a robbery in the Grove on November 22nd when a group of 18 to 20 looters used sledgehammers and an electric bicycle to smash into the complex's Nordstrom store after hours. Nordstrom, local. Nordstrom stores always get jacked up, don't they? You know why? Because they have good stuff. It's expensive, but it's not crazy expensive, but it's good stuff. You go in and steal stuff from Nordstrom, you're going to be able to sell that on the secondary market, no problem. Everybody knows the Nordstrom name. It's got a Nordstrom tag on it. We just bought it and, we're selling it for a discount here because, we just want to pass the savings on to you. We paid full retail for it, of course, but, you're going to be able to get it with the tag on it. And, it's good as new, never been worn. They managed to steal at least $5,000 of merchandise and cause $15,000 in damage, though police later recovered merchandise and arrested 3 people in connection with the burglary. But alas, the wire didn't really work, did it? But maybe it slowed them down. We don't really know. I was kind of sad when I got to that part. It was like, I literally wanted to have one get caught up in the wire and, don't leave me, guys. Don't leave me. I'm caught up in this wire over here, this fake razor wire. And that didn't happen. But a spokesperson for the Grove noted the fencing did help prevent the assailants from getting onto the shopping complex's property by blocking the entrance to it. Okay. The Nordstrom store entrance that was damaged faced a public street, and so that area was not protected by the barrier. Maybe their losses would have been greater. $5,000 worth of stuff they stole, $15,000 worth of damage. So a lot of times that's the number that I look at. And the number of the potential dollar amount of damage to the store is oftentimes it's either super low or it's not reported. And people are like, so it was only a couple of grand worth of damage. Property, it's not that big of a deal. That's not even really a crime, is it? Bunch of knuckleheads. Additionally, all stores at the Grove had a special ballistic film coating exterior and interior facing windows, which helps fortify the glass in the event of a smash and grab type of crime. That film did make it more difficult for the Nordstrom assailants to break through the glass, giving law enforcement more time to respond. Retailers all over the nation have been shaken by the spate of robberies. So, when we catch these guys, you need to put them away and make an example of them. That's what needs to happen. Lock these people up for a long time. No bail. Make an example of them. Next couple of years, lock them up. It's never going to happen because somebody would say, that's unfair. That's unfair. At Los Angeles nearby Citadel Outlets Shopping Center, for example, General Manager David Blagg said security has been tightened there too. We've also increased our on-site security staff around the clock and have stationed security personnel throughout the center. Additionally, we have gates at entrances and exits that can be closed quickly, giving us the ability to lock down the center within 1 to 2 minutes. These places are going to end up looking like prisons, aren't they? And they're going to operate like prisons. All right, we got a lockdown. We got a lockdown. Everybody lock down. I mean, that's literally what you're going to do. Now, the patrons in there with their Gucci handbags, they're going to be, oh my gosh, what's going on? Guess we have to stay in the mall forever. And last week, a group of 20 retail leaders, including the CEOs of Target, Best Buy, Nordstrom, Home Depot, and CVS, they sent a letter to Congress expressing their concern over the wave of brazen store robberies in major U.S. cities and urged lawmakers to take action. As millions of Americans have undoubtedly seen on the news in recent weeks and months, retail establishments of all kinds have seen a significant uptick in organized crime in communities across the nation. The group called on Congress to pass legislation that would deter criminals from being able to easily resell stolen merchandise, especially online. All of this stuff that we're doing doesn't get at the root of the problem, which is deter them from doing it in the first place. Let's make it harder for them to sell it online. Yeah, that's important. But how about when they get caught, you just put them away for a while? Just make an example of them. No, we can't do that. It wouldn't be, that just, clearly that's not working because here we are. I mean, life is so much better that we've got CEOs of major stores going, yeah, we got to do something here, guys, talking to Congress. Congress is like, oh, yeah, that's not good. Whew. Guess I'll just do some more shopping on Amazon. Not good. Yeah. So you've got regular businesses bringing in the electric fence. Yep, makes total sense. You've got other businesses in these areas where this smash, grab, and dash, however you want to say it, they're stealing stuff, right? They're stealing stuff and they're selling it on the interweb. They're selling it, they're doing a pop-up Amazon store. They're doing a little eBay action, selling it on Facebook, wherever they can sell it for a discount. You can buy this like new product for a discount. People know exactly what they're getting, but I mean, you can't really prove it one way or the other. So I think people, they turn a blind eye. They're like, I don't know where this came from, but I'm okay with the discount I'm getting on said product because I just looked on the Nordstrom website. It's a lot more. Therefore, I'm just going to buy this and, just going to buy it. What's the harm? I don't know where it came from. I mean, that's literally what folks are doing, right? It's literally what folks are doing. It's crazy. So at some point in time, you're going to have legislation that's going to address this, but this has all happened so quickly. And a lot of this has happened, since the pandemic when criminals have just been emboldened from all different angles. And you see these crime rates rising and you're like, okay. And the stuff we saw right after George Floyd happened. I mean, stuff I saw here in Seattle and in Bellevue in particular, they stole millions of dollars of merchandise from Bellevue Square because it's one of these malls that has a lot of upper end. It's got a Tiffany's and all that good stuff where you can go in and just smash windows and run in and take a bunch of stuff and you're going to do well. No matter what you take, it's going to be worth something. And there's always a secondary market. And with selling stuff on the internet, it's just made this all so easy that why wouldn't you? And I think it's like 8 out of 10 of these robberies, the folks get away with it So your odds, if you're willing to do a little time somewhere, somehow, maybe, probably not. And somebody tells you, well, you can make a few grand today and your odds of getting caught, there's an 80% chance you're not going to get caught. What do you think about that? If you're already a criminal, you're going to say, heck yeah, I'm in, let's go. And that's what's going on, right? That's what's going on. Crazy world we live in. But yes, these are some of the different approaches that are taking place. And I've talked a lot about walking downtown Seattle and the fact that everybody, even condos and smaller projects, have a security officer walking around. I mean, how boring. Because you think about the footprint of most of these buildings. It's pretty small because they're in the downtown core, right? And they're vertical. So they go straight up, floors and floors and floors. If you're a security officer, you've got like a 100-foot run down the south side and 100-foot run on the west side. And you just walk around and any crime? No. They're a super boring job until they need it. And then they're probably overwhelmed by whatever criminal comes along. But this is the approach we've gone to. Security guards, private security guards for all kinds of businesses in these areas. Electric fencing in the bigger areas just outside of the downtown core, because you don't have, car lots in downtown. And then you've got these upper end malls coming up with different approaches. And it's all because we've just basically given a hall pass to criminals to kind of do their thing. And they've got the ability to sell this stuff very easily now. The interweb, it's so great for so many reasons. That isn't one of them. So, yeah. So I just kind of wanted to do this quick podcast. I guess it's not quick. It's like 35 minutes. This podcast, and hey, these are examples of things going on. These are examples of things that businesses are doing, cities are thinking of as far as approaches to deter said crime. I don't think any of these is the be all and end all, but at least they're doing something. They're coming up with some kind of approach to keep their businesses safe, which is really sad because, business is hard enough, especially when you get shut down. You have 46, catalytic converters stolen. Good Lord. That poor guy, poor business. All right. That's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for being part of the Seattle Real Estate Podcast. I will catch up with you again very soon. We're releasing 2 a day, Monday through Friday, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, always on the holidays. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Thanks again. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.